Good evening, everyone. System Chalk here with the 36th episode of Cultist Simulator, playing the Bright Young Thing Legacy as David Ellison. We have got Inspector Wakefield on our trail, and they've already picked up a notoriety. We've also got some notoriety expiring, so I'm still, even though we have a meticulous detective, which means that the risk of evidence is considerably higher than it used to be, we're still going to sort of proceed as if we didn't have two investigators on the table. We'll continue to generate notoriety, we will continue to destroy evidence, and in the worst case scenarios, we will maybe try to eliminate one if we find that we can't get rid of the evidence in a timely fashion. We've got the study door open, so let's deal with the deeds of the scarred captain, painstakingly assembled by the soldier of fortune and sometimes remittance man Pavel Shulga during his years in Greece. Study door, the work begins. I'm going to take a second here to sort out the text as well. The lower rank here is for texts I can't translate. These ones will be fine. Okay, I'm going to leave the dream slot open. This is just, we don't really need any inputs, and I can't give up the hapless prisoner because I've got a season of ambitions coming up. So we'll see whether or not Saliba succeeds in bringing in another prisoner. We call upon the watchman who illuminates. We will almost certainly find this hidden door. And not all of the Forge's children are bright. Its offcuts and its bastards gather in the bounds like hammerscale in the cracks of a smithy floor. Here comes one now. So there's a rising heat. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I don't need to summon another. I don't think I could summon a Callagine off of that. Now, my first inclination would be, I think I am going to put them in the expedition. It's just because I can move them to the talk verb shortly after. We've got 24 seconds here. However, I do want to get the painting out of the way. We only have, oh sorry, I said only one. We've got 4 staleness to deal with, so we are not going to be making money for a while, I suspect. This should have an impact. Minion has returned empty-handed. That's bad luck, but not the most important thing for us to deal with. I think I'm gonna take the Callagine out. Let's get Saliba on the job again, because we're not going to be able to destroy the evidence for a while. It's a bit of a shame to have to expose the Callagine this way, but it's what I've got. I suppose there is one more thing I can do. Oh, nope, Saliba don't. Saliba will not talk about the Callagine, or to the Callagine. Way through the hidden door, faint lines in stone, a surface that yields to pressure. We found it. The hidden door moves with a grating shudder and a shower of dust. So the Dry Soul Curse, I think I would need heart for, and so it would not be a bad idea to go to the spider's door, but unfortunately we don't have a sacrifice for it. I've drunk the light of their mind, it thrills and fills me, marks bright and empty, and we prepared the text for study. So, let's read the deeds of the Scarred Captain. An account of the founding of Mycenae by a scarred captain who first slew 7 monsters to make the land safe. Alright, so we got rid of some of the staleness. Did we get rid of all of it? My god. Crazy. Unfortunately, we don't have all of the notoriety that we would want. Well, that's an easy fix. This should have an impact. Out in the night, my follower is whispering words that sometimes they might mean. Even if their victim knows the words are lies, they may not care. Rumor squats on rooftops and flutters in gutters. This hunter is making progress in their investigation. And the colors of the night, I could spend money on better paints, or perhaps I could find more exotic pigments. We call upon the Colonel, who cannot be denied. The Colonel is a fierce hour, but a power which knows light, and he has survived worse. His power will almost certainly protect us. Honestly, I'm only going through the motions. The quality of my work will no doubt suffer, and my minion has returned attended by a prisoner rendered docile with delight. An eventful session. So we've got the notoriety for a future painting, although we may have to get rid of staleness because we've done a reputation-based painting. Let's talk with the Callagine now. I am certain that my adversary has lodged a copy of their notes elsewhere, with their solicitor, with their superior, or even with a contact in the press. This is troubling, but only for 57 more seconds. Yeah, there's more staleness. My recent work has accrued modest fame. The paintings have reviewed well. 3 funds. And a contentment to boot. So I think we can give it 7.7 seconds for the passion. As the captain destroys each monster, a flood of blood rises higher until at last a priestess drowns and is reborn as a serpent goddess. She blesses the captain and she departs for the house above the forest, leaving Mycenae to reign supreme after the flood of blood subsides. And here we have a second copy of the Colonel's names. The Colonel has been many things in many ages. He is blind, he is deaf, he cannot be wounded, he cannot be denied. His names, are as cunning as only the very old can be. So we have a number of, we have quite a bit of lore that we can move up. Unfortunately, it's just a question in terms of, when am I going to have the free time? I'm going on a lot of expeditions, and it's good that I'm going on a lot of expeditions. But it does mean that we get a lot of books, which need to be translated and then read, and it means that I don't have the same opportunities to upgrade the lore. However, it is fair to say that by reading books, we do get higher level lore, and overall, it's a better use of the time. But still, it's a bit of a worry if you want to advance quickly. And it is fair to say we're already at the 6th mark, so it would make sense for us to try and close things out if I wanted an Ascension victory. On to The World Does Not Weep. Brown Joshua found this in a well in Hamath. There's an unlikely story that it was abandoned by Alexander during his retreat from Issus. Lock the study door, the work begins. Why am I... Right, we're leaving work open because I want to use the passion. The curse shrivels. Our power is stronger than the power that was here. The curse won't touch us. Unfortunately, it did not take every bit of passion. Let's do a painting about contentment, just in case the text winds up being a little too scary for us. Another season of sickness coming up. This would suggest to me I probably want to start going to... I should have read the text there. I probably want to start going back into the Mansis. So let's start with a trip to the White Door. Now I can approach the White Door through the bounds. Now I can press my fingers to it, feel its chill, watch it swing open. As it opens, my mouth closes, tightens, heals over like a lost deformity. Around and about me is the cobalt light of the Mansis. And we're not going to pay for the paints here because we went for passion. We may not remove this. We may not remove the staleness though because of lack of passion. I'm not 100% sure how the interaction works. The world goes away. My minion is not returned. They have failed, and their blundering may have attracted attention. Bad luck. So I still have a prisoner. Let's send Yzabet to fix the problem with the evidence. And we will now read The World Does Not Weep. The unknown adept who wrote this proclaims, "The world forgets, but the ivory dove does not." The text contains a number of prescriptions for ensuring that certain acts are remembered, including a rite which requires a sacrifice in a particularly monstrous mode. Recent work has attracted a couple of callers. With luck, something will sell. Alright, so we did get rid of one staleness. That's a start at least. So now's the time where I either want to summon a Callagine, which is not well, that's not entirely true. I could summon it through an Iotic Essence. Alternatively, I could try... Hang on. I don't think this will work, but what am I doing? The Rite of the Crow's Quenching. No, hang on, I don't have the influence. So Seize Fasting would help though. Invocation Instrument and an offering. So we offer the Iotic Essence. I'll use the icon of Saint Agnes. Lantern. Worth a try, though. Actually, there is one other thing that I can try. The seventh mark. The seventh mark is the Incursus. I am close. Close as the light to the shadow's edge. I will need all the power of lantern I can muster to at least the 36th degree of intensity. So the best we can do right now without a... Oh, hang on. It's not even the right form. Get 10 with... Get 10 with Cat Caro, so that would bring us up to 18. So a little over halfway. Yeah, needless to say, we've got some work ahead of us. Okay, enough playing around. Let's think about my next steps. I think a commission makes sense here. Childhood's End. Behind a rotting tapestry of wolves... Behind a rotting tapestry of wolves hunting men, a paneled wall and a paneled wall. In the paneled wall, a secret door. The spring is... I'll get a chance to read that again. Don't want to use the icy atmosphere. Let's try the Orchard of Lights. That wouldn't help me either. The white door opens. Last night I walked in the Orchard of Lights. I plucked the fruit, which is always ripe, and consumed it in 2 bites. The taste is not to be forgotten. As I licked the glowing juices from my fingers, I saw a message carved in the bark of the tree. When I woke, I recorded that message, all I could remember in my diary. So if I want a Callagine, I would go to the stag door, but I think I'm actually going to try and go to the well instead. Now I pass between scarbark trees. The moon passes behind branches, though her fingers remain in my hair. I am stumbling now over roots. It is tempting to drop to all fours to avoid the low branches. Pale wings move deep in the night. And then, sorry, there was another text I was supposed to read. Childhood's End, right. Behind a rotting tapestry of wolves hunting men, a paneled wall. In the paneled wall, a secret door. Spring is long gone, of course. We had to smash it in with hammers. The last treasures of the Comte de Reveline lie here, in a surprisingly airy room. High skylight windows have long since broken, and the floor is lost underneath leaves and debris. But once this place was furnished as a nursery, here a cradle with the skeleton of a puppy. There's the Book of True Blood. So Latin text we can translate. The High Mysteries of the Innermost Chamber of our Church Solar, another Fusine text. Cinnabar Amulet, so this is a forge amulet. Scarlet is the color of heat. Mercury holds one key to an ultimate dissolution. This is actually the first sort of tangible forge item that we've gotten. We have the Morphe Codex in Aramaic, so we're going to be able to translate that. And of course, our beloved notoriety for doing dastardly deeds. Now we still have the money, so we are going to go on to another expedition. It is worth remembering, though, that in the case of the Unnumbered Stones, we shouldn't expect books. We can get books from them. Well, actually, I can never remember if it's specific to... I can't remember if there are books that are available on the draw, because it's a random draw when you go with the Unnumbered Stones. It used to be random draws for everything, but in the case of the repeatable locations, you draw from a deck, and some of the decks have books available, but I don't recall if every repeatable location has books that you can get. And it is worth saying, excuse me, in the case of my experience, at least, has been that the books coming from these locations are rare enough that I actually doubted that there were books in it. It took me looking at the deck to verify that there are books there. And who knows, that may have also changed. Well, actually, no, I think there's been a video where that comes up. But yeah, in any case, I tend not to rely on getting books from these, is the simple way of saying it. The Unnumbered Stones, megaliths placed in obsessive, inerrant rows by priest castes long dead. Time has long erased the original bloodstains, but on moonless nights, the locals supplement what remains. Hidden chambers might guard hidden treasures. Treasure seekers visiting the stones must penetrate the forest that conceals them, grapple with the locals that revere them, and finally be prepared to do some digging, even if they can find a hidden door. So lots of things that we need to go through. I think Cat Carol will help us out in this regard. But we're probably going to have to also add some moth people. And money, but we can handle money. Our expedition plans for the next challenge will consume funds. I can add funds now, or I could send another follower. Let's start by adding Sylvia, and then we can add the money after, once we know that we're safe. Right, a few tasks. The Hours tried to bury the memory of what happened to the Wheel, the Flint, the Tide, and the Seven Coiled, but the Dove won't permit it, nor will he permit what happened to the first egg to be forgotten, although it is perhaps the one thing the Watchman might ever forgive. So if I recall, these are the stone. Wheel, Flint, Tide, Seven Coiled. I don't recall if the egg counts or not. Anyways, we don't need to worry about dread, which is good, but we do have the right of the Beast Division. The assistant's name is taken from them in a place or on an occasion of power, and they are divided into 9 parts. They used to be hunted like an animal too, but times changed. And we have the Invocation of the Ivory Dove. There is a power that commemorates and grieves, from whom nothing is taken, but who cannot be deceived. You might expect to be able to crush him in your hand into bird bone fragments. So a level 8 winter influence. Level 8 winter lore. It's going to be helpful for us in a number of ways, but let's see if we can upgrade it even higher once we improve the operation of the declining sun. Either way, though, we need to take care of the devoured Tantra first. The diplomat priest Stanislav John Schaller transcribed this from the library of a Red Long, but his manuscript remains in a private collection in Karashim. Lock the study door, the work begins. And we finish the manuscript. Whether we had it in a timely fashion or not, it's another matter. A concise disquisition on winter. And, sorry, I should be focusing on staleness. What do I use as my inspiration? Probably going to need some notoriety before too long, so let's try the formula Vigilant. Those who know will understand, as will the Suppression Bureau. Doesn't hurt that it also potentially gets me a vitality. My minion has returned. The evidence has been destroyed. I am a little safer. Now, if I want, I can get Saliba to bring in another body. I think that would be a good idea, but let's turn in the work for Poppy and get the commission from Dr. Adim first. What Poppy requested. And time passes, so another season of suspicion coming up. Very timely for getting rid of the evidence, but we may have to do the same trick again. So many things rise from the well in the wood. Last night it was a swarm with wormy roots. The trees clustered and whispered. Perhaps they were welcoming the influx. I found a sleeping soul ensnared in the roots, and I helped them struggle free. When they wake, they will recall my face, as I do theirs. So let's go through the stag door this time. I have a few things I need from there. I received the currency of the secret world, and my patron has let tantalizing information slip. The doctor would like help with his research. Oh yes, I should be working on this. So Shadow, we're calling upon Moth. So, it wasn't Lantern after all. Peril-proud forest. Long ago, the primal trees marched from sea to sea. Some traces of their reign still survive, like this dense and choking territory of root and thorn. The practicalities of Forge or the mysteries of Moth may see us through. So Yuzabet did a good job on the evidence. Let's bring her in for the forest. That'll also help out with the Watchers, but we do need to add funds before too long. Alright, let's get rid of the staleness and then we can move on. Here's what he needs. A substantial commission on Lantern. Dr. Ibn al-Adim called the Alapine has offered you a commission. He would like you to provide him with a substantial discussion on the severe mysteries of the Lantern. Alright, I think we are ready to have a chat with Saliba. A significantly persuasive disciple can probably lure a susceptible companion back to us. I have not said that line correct in like 7 videos. All that I am is here. Another thing that I want to do is repair the Wildering Mirror. I think once I've got 2 hapless prisoners, that will be the time I try to repair the mirror. Exceptional work. This is something special. It may provoke a reaction, and it may also generate a fascination. Nope, we're good. My recent work is considered significant. I may yet earn a living from this, but nothing is certain. Alright, so if we got rid of the staleness, we did not. Mission time. So small priority for Edge just because it does help me build up my my iron reserve. The Count will pay for information of interest. This time he'd like whatever you can assemble on the practicalities of Edge. And we need a reason for it. This may be useful for a commission. I prepared the text for study. Now, for the affliction, we've got 2 minutes left, so we can read the Devoured Tantra before we need to consider using our health. And it's the same text as before, so let's read the work now. The Devoured Tantra warns of the uses and dangers of appetite, but devotes an entire passage to the star-limbed hunger-bringers, who it describes with obvious affection. We have not yet used the star-limbed hunger bringers, but they would actually be helpful for some of the challenges I've been running into as well. Alright, so Wakefield means we know we're going to have to deal with a bit of evidence, and the Season of Suspicion may hit us. I think we'll just take wheat. Season of Suspicion may hit us again and produce damning evidence. Gearby was weeping again. I scooped up his molten tears into my cupped palm. In the dream, my skin peeled and blistered, but only in the dream. So the question is, do I want to try the wood again, or do I want to try... Yeah, let's go one more trip to the wood. Now I pass between scarbark trees. The moon passes behind branches, though her fingers remain in my hair. I'm stumbling over roots now. It is tempting to drop to all fours to avoid the low branches. Pale wings move deep in the night, and Wakefield got that evidence right away. Out in the night, my follower is whispering words that sometimes they might mean. Even if their victim knows the words are lies, they may not care. Let's add the fun, so getting too wrapped up in the cult's business. Against the Watchers, a powerful deception. Look closer, closer still, closer. Keep looking, closer. Now close your eyes. If a hunter has found notoriety, they will use it to create or upgrade evidence. If they are meticulous, they will always succeed. If they're erratic, they're more likely to fail, but they can occasionally create evidence even without notoriety. And I have finished the manuscript. Edge a brief discussion at your own work in manuscript form. In this case, we're going to get the summoning out of the... it's a tough call. Nah, I'm gonna summon the Callagine. Forge for the Smoky Spirit summoning, winter for its binding. It must know who will rule it. A million blazing fires in the belly engulf what has been swallowed by the multiform mouths. I have no idea what we got from that. I feel like that's happened each time we've gotten a grail. I'm gonna have to watch the video and see if I actually got the card out of that. Okay, I do need to make some choices here. The affliction is going to hit me within 69 seconds, so in this case I am going to study my health. Long walks kill cobwebs. My minion is returned, attended by a prisoner rendered docile with delight. Okay, so I can turn in a commission. Got some money for the trouble as well. And then I can try to repair the mirror. I have what he requested. Season of Ambition's coming up, so we will be able to satisfy my hunger. And the well delivers. Exercise or something rarer has invigorated me. The well in the wood is sacred to the Grail, the hour that hungers, and to the velvet, the hour that guards secrets. Tonight as I approached, it heaved with the velvet's moss, struggling waves deep and vibrant green, pulsing again and again from its throat. It surged around my calves, rose to my thighs, and this morning I still feel the velvet's breath strong within me. So a bit of a shame that I tied up the study verb in such a way, but you never know, so all I need now is time. We did save some money, and I've received the currency of the secret world, and my patron has let tantalizing information slip. So I do have about 4 seconds before Poppy is available for another commission. I figure I might as well wait a little while for that. But I am quite determined to repair the Wildering Mirror. There are a number of ways that that will be helpful. I am, Poppy says with a girlish giggle, curious about, oh you know, the arts of blood and ice. It's silly, but will you allow an old woman her whims? Allow an old woman her whims. Will you help me? And the world as it is. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm sane if that means anything. No fascination drives your visions. It's over for now. And now she would like a commission on Knock. Poppy will pay for information of interest. This time she'd like substantial research on the corporal mysteries of Knock. Now, Tristan. Significant conversations in a smoky meeting room. What do I need from my follower? We can begin to repair this, but it will take at least a bronze spintra to purchase the necessary materials. And that gives us a decent place to finish for tonight, I think. So we know in 20 seconds, Wakefield is going to produce evidence. Rumor squats on rooftops and flutters and gutters. This hunter is making progress in their investigation. In 26 and a half seconds or thereabouts, we are going to summon a Callagine. It is possible that the Callagine will resist me, at which point I need to decide to use passion to get rid of, or to try and hold on to it, or reason to dismiss it. Now, I am more likely to use reason in this case because we have 45 seconds on passion, but we still have a staleness to get rid of. It's also not that difficult to get the things that I need to summon the Callagine. I could, in fact, use the Iotic Essence to bring it in. As far as the expedition is concerned, the Watcher's confusion, their bewilderment is our opportunity. We'll pass in silent secrecy, so we've already got Cat Caro to work on the door. We've got the money in there, so it's basically up to chance. And we're already healing the sickness. So other than the fact that we're a little short on money, and we do have at least 2 paintings before... So, sorry, there's 2 things about this. It's not just that we have 2 paintings, but it's that we have 2 paintings and some notoriety that is expiring. That's really the only thing that's maybe the concern on the playthrough. But we've been able to handle money before. I suspect we're just going to move on straight to Tower Revok, and we will, commission and paint our way to wealth again. But it will be interesting to see whether or not we've got a Callagine to handle the Suppression Bureau, because we've got a replacement prisoner. And the plan would be, once we repair the mirror, the Callagine destroys the evidence, and we carry on. Of course, if the Callagine doesn't complete the summoning, maybe we just send out a moth follower again. Porter's feeling underutilized. All of that, though, is a conversation for next week. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. I've been delighted to see some of the activity recently. Also, just little details in terms of seeing the numbers. For those of you who are curious about the YouTube stuff, there's 3 major things that they report for the Cultist Simulator videos. It will be views, the impressions click-through rate, so they define this: people are choosing to watch your video as often as your other videos, the click-through rate is looking good. So I think this is the idea that if you happen to see the capsule up, people click it, and then the average view duration. And it's fair to say that Cultist Simulator meets or exceeds these measures pretty regularly. There's a couple times when they sort of bounce around a little bit. I tend to notice if the click-through rate goes up, the watch time tends to go down a bit, and I think this is just people curious about what's going on and then realizing that I talk too much. But all of that's just to say that it's better to focus on sharing something that you like. I think the reward here is to talk about Cultist Simulator and to share it with people who are interested, to hear what people think of the game, or to hear people asking their questions and such. But it is also very helpful to me that this game winds up being quite good, at least as far as the things that YouTube cares about. And I certainly, again, don't want to put too much emphasis on those kinds of measures. But it is also worth remembering that a few of you do, have been there since, the earlier times when I was below 1,000 followers, and we're celebrating the successes of hitting the 1,000 milestone for YouTube. And so every once in a while, it's nice to just sort of check in on a few of those metrics. So whether you're watching out of interest, whether you like hearing about the YouTube stuff, or whether you're just a kind soul who wanted to hear a strange man talk about a strange video game for half an hour, I appreciate you hanging out till the end here. I will be back Monday, but until then, take care and have a wonderful weekend.